What's good, YouTube? Staven Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. Today I have a special VR for one of my very best friends in this hobby, Jake at Legends Never Die, where neither will you if you know Jesus. That is especially important this time of year as the holidays are upon us. Jake is celebrating 755 subscribers for Hank Aaron. He's a big Braves fan, collector of all things Hall of Fame, and one of the biggest stat nuts I know. So him not doing a traditional number milestone and being unique like that is definitely up his alley. Jake wants us to do a kind of showcase of why our collection is our collection and the different categories that kind of are unique to us. And I think that's interesting because a lot of channels, whether they're new to you or you're not able to watch everything, sometimes it can be hard to know everything that someone collects. You might know the main one or two things, but a lot of people aren't that focused, me especially. So this is the type of video where I'm going to be able to show you all the different kind of subcategories of my collection, which can be stretched pretty thin sometimes. Sometimes I focus on different parts of it more than others, but it's what makes my collection my collection. And I'm really excited to share with you guys. But before I get into those cards, Jake actually added a few cards to my collection. I bought this 1965 Topps off of him from Facebook sale. This is Red Shandy's Hall of Famer. He's a pretty good manager too, but he's a high number in the set. So Hall of Fame high number for my 65 Topps set. You can't go wrong with purchasing this. Jake gave me a very fair price. And of course, Jake didn't just send the card that I bought. Why would he do that? He sent me this beautiful 1947 Bond bred Phil Rizzuto. This predates his rookie card, has a much better image in my opinion. The Phil Rizzuto 48 Bowman with him sliding with the terrible look on his face is very reminiscent of the 58 Brooks Robinson to me. You either love it or hate it. I'm not a big fan. So this is my first Phil Rizzuto rookie card, as well as my first Bond bred card in the PC. So it checks a lot of boxes. Jake, I've already thanked you for this, but thank you so much again. This was unbelievably generous, and I really appreciate your friendship, man. You also threw in another custom, but this one you signed for me. You didn't sign the one at the National. And you put, to my favorite Hall of Fame type collector Dom, Jake Brewer. Jake's been trying to put me in the Hall of Fame type collecting box for quite a while now. The times he's mentioned me in his videos, he's definitely put me in that category. He doesn't like that I don't put a label on my collection, but in planning this video, which is probably going to be my longest video on the channel, and in the holiday spirit, Jake, I really hope that you enjoy my Hall of Fame type collection. Let's get into the cards. If I was going to start somewhere, it had to be with my favorite player to collect. A lot of you that watch my videos already know this, but my vintage baseball card hero is Carl Yastrzemski. I collected his entire Topps run, so I am interested in his base, league leaders, and multiplayer cards from this 1960 rookie all the way through 1984. Always pick those up when they're affordable or a good price and look for upgrades here and there. I also collect his non-base cards from various sets, some that are Topps and some that are not. Like this 1969 Decal Edge. I also have the 69 O-Pee-Chee Decal Edge. Much tougher to find. Collect his post-playing day cards as well, whether he's in 80s, 90s packs, like this Turn Back the Clock from 87 Topps, or in cool inserts like this Fleer 3000 Hit Club. I love these. have numerous Yaz relics in my PC. I can pick them up whenever I can get them for 10 bucks or less. It's an old 70s looking jersey right there. Tier 1. And I have 3 Yaz autographs in my collection. One that I showcased in a VR for Frank. One that I have on an 8x10 photo, which is my first Yaz autograph. And this one that I just got in time for the holidays. 2005 Upper Deck Cooperstown Calling green parallel jersey patch auto numbered to 2 of 10. Very fitting as a Christmas gift with the red and the green. And I just love this card so much. The patch is dirty, 3 colors, and I just love the photo there where he has the ear covering, but there's a baseball-sized hole in the side of it. So I'm not really sure if that part's doing its job, but really cool. And you guys know I love the old Upper Deck certification. You have received a game used patch trading card personally autographed by Carl Yastrzemski. On the front of this card is an authentic piece of patch from a jersey worn by Carl Yastrzemski in an official Red Sox Major League Baseball game. This signature was sent to Upper Deck directly from Carl Yastrzemski. The certificate expressly warrants the authenticity of the depicted athlete's signature. So cool. Not on card, but the patch makes up for that. Other than the Carl Yastrzemski Topps run, one of my first hobby projects that I've started on, still have not completed, is the post-war Rookie Hall of Fame checklist. And I know what some of you are thinking. Dom, do you do the PSA set registry? I do not. But I do have some cards in PSA holders like my Yaz and this 65 Topps Steve Carlton. But I don't discriminate on the holder. If I like the card, I pick it up. I got this Beckett Lou Brock rookie at the National. I have this Don Drysdale rookie in an SGC. Look at the centering on that. And the vast majority of my Hall of Fame rookie cards are raw. If I had to give a rough estimate, I'd say that I have 75% of the post-war Rookie Hall of Fame cards. Now, if you take that from 1960 to present, the number goes way up. There's a lot of cards from 48 Bowman through 55 Topps that I just don't have for financial reasons yet. Maybe I'll get some of them someday, but I doubt I will ever finish this project. Just as someone that's a fan of the Hall of Fame and a fan of vintage and rookie cards, it just makes a lot of sense, and I try to see who's going in and get their rookie cards ahead of time, but even if I don't, I go and grab their rookie card when the opportunity presents itself. I also like to prospect, and I know a lot of you have a negative connotation towards prospecting, but the type of prospecting I do is for the Hall of Fame. Whether it's guys that are already retired and off the regular ballot, like Dave Parker, Sweet Lou Whitaker, guys that are recently retired or in the tail end of their career that when they first hit the ballot are going to waltz into Cooperstown, like Adrian Beltre, Justin Verlander, the new Met, or guys that are maybe halfway through their careers and are on the trajectory to get in. When I can get in at a good entry point, a guy that I watched play and I think eye test and statistically they're on their way there, I pick him up. Bryce Harper had a crazy run with the Phillies this year, and that contract and his age is going to help him get to the statistical points I think he needs for election. And the best third baseman I've ever seen, Nolan Arenado. For those of you that didn't know coming into this video, you at least know from the intro that I'm working on the 65 top set. And it's been a really fun project, something that's been challenging. I'm 58% of the way through. It will be probably my only strict hobby goal is to make progress and try to complete that in 2023. But figured I'd show you some of the highlights that I have in the set so far that I don't believe I've shown on camera yet. My 65 tops, Carl Yastrzemski with the green and white. Jim Bunning with the white and blue. Billy Williams with the white and red. Frank Robinson with the yellow and blue. Bob Gibson with the red and black. And the other three big rookies in the set that weren't in a PSA holder. Tony Perez. Joe Morgan. And Jim Catfish Hunter. I've always found this one interesting because on the back it says Tim Hunter. Another great way to get affordable Hall of Famers is with exhibits because they're oversized, they are black and white, and they often don't have backs. This Willie Mays actually is a stat back from 1962. But the majority of these do not have backs. My only playing days, Joe D. And another huge pickup from the year, my 37 4-on-1. Lefty Grove, Joe Cronin, Dick Farrell, and Jimmy Fox. 4 Hall of Famers that are also Red Sox legends. The main reason Jake calls me a Hall of Fame type collector is because I don't just go for the base tops of legends like Hank Aaron. I go for all of their more obscure issues, whether they be food and beverage related, or in this case, the 68 Atlantic Oil. Cards like this are just so interesting to me. They have the same vintage feel, and they're a lot harder to find. So that chase excites me, and definitely is a factor in my Hall of Fame type collecting. Being a longtime watcher of the community, I've learned a lot and have kept an eye out for food issue stuff and obscure things because of guys like John Mangini and Dave Blue Jacket 66 and Rick Vintage Dodgeball Cards. This so many different things that I've learned about, and I've gotten cards. This one was the gift from Jake, the Bond Bread Rizzuto. '71 Milk Dud Complete Box, Jim Hunter. '38 Dixie Lid, Bob Feller. And this kind of stuff really just fascinates me. This Bob Feller Dixie Lid one of my favorite, if not my favorite, pickups of the entire year. The community has definitely sparked my interest with that, and the amount of vintage that I've been able to find here on the East Coast has helped me continue the hunt. Another part of my hobby that has turned from fascination to legitimate side PC is Venezuelan cards. A lot of people know about the Venezuelan cards that look like Topps cards. This is a Venezuelan League sticker of Dave Parker that looks like his 77 Topps card. Blank backs, it's a sticker. Then there's the cards from the 60s that look exactly like the Topps cards on the front. But you can tell from the back they are printed on a different cardstock, and man, that is beautiful. But there's also Venezuelan League cards that were printed in Venezuela for Venezuelan teams. And there's actually a bunch of Major League stars from the 70s that have cards from the Venezuelan Winter League. Whether that is the only Venezuelan League Hall of Famer, Luis Aparicio, here on the Zulia checklist from 1970 Ovenka. Or the beautiful 72 Venezuelan League sticker Rod Carew that I picked up very recently. Stuff like this is so awesome, and a lot of people just don't know about it. This year, I've started dipping my toes into pre-war a little bit. It's something that I've kind of put off. I have a T206 common and a few other little things, but I wasn't equipped and interested enough to start doing that. I had a lot of other post-war projects and modern projects that I prioritized. But it's been cool learning about and picking up things like these matchbooks, Gabby Harnett, and Billy Herman. I got this 33 DeLong Goose Goslin at the National. And maybe my favorite pre-war pickup of the year, the Silk Larry Doyle that I also got at the National. Hoping to continue to research and learn more about pre-war and pick some more stuff up. Definitely a fun uphill battle to continue to open this can of worms, but I absolutely love some of these sets. Another thing I love about vintage cards from the 60s was the start of the Topps All Rookie Team, where they would commemorate it with an awesome trophy on the card. And these gold cups, Lou Rock knows, they're just special, especially back in the day when they used to have the full cup. They really make a card pop. That's Joe Torre's rookie from 62. Tony Oliva's third year from 65. Joe Morgan's second year from 66. Tom Seaver's second year from 68. And my personal favorite rookie cup card, the 1969 Topps Johnny Bench. How can you look at a card like that and not say that the trophy adds to it? Always love a gold cup, especially when it's on a Hall of Famer or Stars card. My channel is Staven Sports Cards, and while the vast majority of my collection is baseball related, I do have a decent chunk of football cards and a handful of basketball cards. Football, I have some vintage, but I mainly go after rookie cards when it comes to football. Players that I enjoy, Hall of Famers. Floyd Little, who I actually ran indoor track at his facility at Hill House in New Haven. Larry Zonka. John Riggins. Joe Theismann. Bruce Smith. Charles Haley, one of the most interesting stories there is in football. Shannon Sharp, who's had a second Hall of Fame career in media. Peyton Manning. And future Hall of Famer Darrelle Revis. He was super annoying to face twice a year. My football PC is probably 100 or so deep, maybe 150 cards, but my basketball PC is much smaller. I have a handful of rookie cards of guys that I enjoy, and then the rest is this guy. Ray Allen, my favorite basketball player. I talked about this. He played college basketball at the University of Connecticut and then helped my Celtics win their first championship since Larry Bird days. One of the best shooters I've ever watched. Consummate professional, hard worker, and someone that I just gravitated to immediately and have always been a big fan of. So I have numerous rookie cards and parallels, and I also have one autograph in the collection. Numbered to $7.99 on the back. But Ray Allen, he's my main basketball PC. I have 38 different Ray Allen cards. So that kind of gives you an idea of where my basketball PC's at. I've always loved the concept of a relic card. The fact that I have a piece of a game-worn uniform from a player that I enjoy to watch or a legend of the game is so cool. And as you know, I like the Upper Deck certification, so I try to get older relics where I can. Whether it's newer guys like Zach Greinke and Justin Verlander, who I think will both be in the Hall of Fame, with a good Upper Deck certification on the back. Or Legends of the Game, like this really shiny, beautiful pinstripe Harmon Killebrew from Epic Materials. But something that has become a real hobby goal this year has to do with a VR that was done for Lou Rock TV. And I saw all these people's relic lineups showing nasty 3 and 4 colored patches. And I didn't have any of big stars. I just had a couple Red Sox players, Kevin Youkilis, etc. But I didn't have Hall of Fame level guys. And I wanted to get a few because they just look so cool. They're great cards to present. You don't have to worry about the sun wear. Whether they're Hall of Famers like this Jim Palmer, and Pedro Martinez, or future Hall of Famers that I've enjoyed watching dominate, like this beautiful Albert Pujols I traded for at the National. Or this beautiful CC Sabathia leather and lumber from 05. That one's numbered to 25. Getting stuff like this of Hall of Famers for a fraction of the cost of an autograph, I'd rather have a piece like this all day. While I'm definitely more of a relic person than auto person for cost, there's no denying that autographs are really cool. And I try to have at least an example of every Hall of Famer that I can in my collection. Sometimes the autographs get pushed way down because of the cards. But whether they're packed pulled beauties, like this Sweet Spot Classic Bob Gibson, signed Playing Days cards, like this amazing 54 Red Heart Mini Minoso, or bigger flats, whether they're 8x10s or more postcard shaped stuff like this Stan the Man Musial Hall of Fame postcard. Stuff like this is just so cool. And getting a piece of history can't go wrong. In a similar way that Adam Vintage Sanctuary collects Yankee contributors from their World Series teams, vintage-wise, as a Boston sports fan that has grown up in a time where we've been very spoiled and gotten a lot of championships, I collect inserts and different cards of Red Sox contributors from their 4 World Series teams in the 2000s. Patch cards like this Kevin Youkilis from SPX. Patch auto Johnny Damon. John Lester Rising Stars. Triple thread auto patch. Dustin Pedroia Hope Diamond, which in my opinion is the nicest looking parallel in the modern day. These bad boys are numbered to 60. It's nostalgic of my childhood, players that I really care for and have fond memories of. Even though they're not vintage, they're part of my Red Sox collecting. Just because I'm an old soul that likes vintage doesn't mean that I'm still not a 90s baby and 2000s kid at heart. I like some shiny cards. I do. And I try to get inserts and parallels and refractors of Hall of Fame players or players that I enjoyed watching growing up. Lord of the Diamonds, Frank Thomas. The Skybox Higher Level, Pudge. This Prism, Derek Jeter. This EX2000, Ken Griffey Jr. Stuff like this, I'm not going to pay up for most parallels or refractors, but when I can get cards like this for a few dollars, $5 or less, I'm usually going to scoop them up unless I have a big vintage card on my mind. I don't have quite as many as you, Jake, but I do collect some bobbleheads. I enjoy getting generic fan stuff when my teams win championships, like that banner in the back. This is all the stuff on the shelf you see behind me. Hall of Fame stuff like that mug that used to be on my desk. And a good amount of books, both about the history of baseball as well as the Boston sports teams that are close to my heart. A side PC that I really enjoy is McFarlane's, and they remind me a lot of the baseball video games that I played growing up as a kid, and they're just really detailed compared to starting lineups. I think they are just superior in every single way. I have a few to show. Ted Williams, a Splinted Splinter, still in the box. If I can find them still in the box, I leave them still in the box. If I find them unboxed, I display them on a desk or near my TV. Babe Ruth calling his shot. Stuff like this is just so cool, and I hope that when I have a man cave in the future that I can have a wall like Lou Rocks, and then underneath the TV have all my unboxed ones. I gave exhibits their own shine, but they could also go into this category, which is the oversized category. And the cards that originally got me interested in these are the 1964 Topps Giants. Sandy Koufax is one of the short prints, as is Willie Mays. That set is just so cool to me. They're oversized, and most of them can still be found in pretty good shape. I don't know how, but I love that set. The bigger pictures, the fuller uniforms, they're just awesome, and got me interested in what else is out there oversized that people don't want because they're harder to store, they're harder to protect and get cases for. Well, these are Pepsi discs still in the glove. George Brett and Reggie Jackson. Also got Mike Schmidt and Pete Rose. I picked this bad boy up at the National. 1953 Dixie Lid Premium of Bob Lemon. So, premiums and photographs, a lot of people don't even know they exist. When they do, they're like, I don't collect photographs. But, man, stuff like this is tough to find. Billy Herman from the back of a Wheaties box, 1937. I love the colors on stuff like that. There's oversized stand-up sets like the 74 Johnny Pro. Mike Schmidt, second year. Showed this in my first ever video, but Star Cal decals from 1952. Some great players and images in these. I love the ad on the back especially. But just in the world of photographs, not premiums, photographs that are even thinner than that Dixie lid is. 1961 Mannyland baseball photo of Ron Santo, rookie issue. Really young Ron Santo there. Awesome piece. And I just love stuff like this. I also have this 1948 team issue Bob Feller. Technically a rookie issue, even though we know there are stuff that comes out before it. 48 Bowman is his official rookie card, so some people would call this a rookie. I would not, but it's still a beautiful image of a young Bob Feller. The oversized stuff is still, I think, underexplored in vintage. I think there's a lot of unknown or unwanted sets that you can really get some great examples of some great players into your collection. And I hope that if you hadn't seen any of those before, maybe it inspired you to look up your favorite player, especially in the Mannyland photographs. You can find a lot of amazing stuff, including Harmon Killebrew's first picture in a Twins uniform. I know from my analytics that there's not a ton of you still watching, but I definitely do appreciate those of you that stuck through it, and especially those that enjoyed their time. I know Jake is still here, so Jake, awesome to support you. I hope that you had a great time touring through my Hall of Fame type collection, but regardless, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing holiday with your loved ones, and I will catch you guys in the new year. Peace.